On to other news at this hour. It is the final day of the ANC NEC.Some breaking news, in fact, coming out from the meeting. For that, let's cross to SABC News senior political reporter Samkele Maseko. Samkele, good afternoon. Perhaps you could speak to what that breaking news entails as we speak.
Well, Liesl, what we do know at this point in time is that the National Executive Committee of the ANC has moved to summarily suspend former President Jacob Zuma as a member of the party. So effectively, Jacob Zuma has been suspended as a member of the African National Congress, but his suspension will be treated differently in the sense that he will only be processed by the ANC's National Disciplinary Committee processes after the elections, as they will be busy campaigning at this point in time. They will only thoroughly process the suspension of former President Jacob Zuma and take him through a DC process after the elections. The Secretary General of the ANC, the SGO, is expected to communicate this particular message to the former president today during the course of the day and inform him that he has effectively been suspended as a member of the African National Congress and has 48 hours to respond pending that disciplinary process that will then take place post the elections.
All right, Samkele, just for those who've tuned in, when will that announcement officially be made or briefed by the ANC? Can we expect that later today? And then also, as we look at what transpired over the 3 days, perhaps you could also give us a summation, a wrap-up of what transpired, the impact going forward, obviously just ahead of the manifesto launch, amongst other activities expected for the year.
That will be communicated today by the Secretary General of the ANC, the SGO. Any time from now, we are told it's between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock that decision will thus be communicated, but they first have to communicate with former President Jacob Zuma, send the letter through to him, and then be able to communicate the decision through the media. But through our sources, we have been verifying this particular matter, because yesterday it was a tussle and a debate whether to expel him immediately, whether to suspend him, or whether to charge him within the African National Congress. But in the words that have come to fruition of the national chairperson of the ANC, Gwede Mantashe, in the sense that you can only ignore him, deal with him later. But in this sense, the NEC felt as if a decision needs to be made and a firm message has to be sent to ANC members right at this point in time, because the ANC has already dealt with some councillors of the party who have been suspended as members of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal for participating in MK activities, and thus they had to suspend former President Jacob Zuma. And then, so that they are not sidetracked, they will deal with this particular matter after the elections. Also, they dealt with the issues pertaining to the National Student Aid Financial Aid Scheme, NSFAS, which the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Blade Nzimande, came to brief the National Executive Committee of the ANC, the state of readiness of NSFAS to roll out that much needed financial assistance to poor students within South Africa who will be going to universities and colleges for the first time, returning students as well, and also dealing with the middle strata, which is dubbed the missing middle, which earn too much to get financial aid assistance, but also suffer through the burden of not earning much and the high cost of living, and thus they cannot afford to take their kids to universities. That middle strata funding model will also be implemented for the very first time in this financial year and academic year.